What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching True Heel Heat podcast.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. We are back once again with another True Hill Heat preview. This time we're talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling Sakura Genesis 2025. And yes, it's the big show coming up on April 5th. But we also got a huge preview show right before there on April 4th from Kurgan Hall that we're also going to preview here. But y'all know the deal. I can't do it alone. I am joined by my esteemed colleague, the MC of the past, present, and future of New Japan Pro Wrestling here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. It's your boy, Jay News. How are you feeling?
Doing all right, brother, man. Doing all right. Getting geared up for this weekend, the Sakura Genesis. This is officially J News week. My birthday's on Thursday, so we're all gearing up. Old man's feeling like an old man nowadays, so I gotta find my way to get back to feeling a little spry out there. And but it's a good week. New Japan's in session, and New Japan will be in session again next week, as a matter of fact. With what's going on here in the States. But we will be talking about that Sakura Genesis. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Talking about the J News. We're back at it again. Me and SP3 talking all that New Japan goodness, as you know.
Indeed, this is a pre-recorded preview because I got a busy week ahead of me as well. I'll be going to Monday Night Raw in London, England. Probably by the time you watch this, I'll be either on my way or had already been to the show in the O2. I also am going to be on the Wrestling's podcast this week, so that's why we decided to pre-record this preview. So we appreciate y'all if you're joining us live on the preview, on the premiere of this preview. We appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Either way, show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your New Japan fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, you can sound off in the live chat if you're watching us on the premiere. But most of all, let us know in the comments down below your predictions for New Japan Pro Wrestling Sakura Genesis weekend, the 4th and the 5th. Junior Genesis on the 4th at Kurgan Hall. You got on the 5th Sakura Genesis, the main show, Ryohei Goku. So big weekend for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Big weekend in pro wrestling with AEW Dynasty as well. I know MLW's got Battle Riot, so a lot of stuff for you to enjoy this week from pro wrestling. So appreciate y'all for joining us here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. But yes, we got Sakura Genesis 4th and 5th weekend coming up. J News, as always, with our previews for the new major New Japan shows. How excited are you, considering it's your birthday week for New Japan Pro Wrestling Sakura Genesis, Junior Genesis, and the main show on Saturday?
I thought we were gonna get a little bit more from Junior Genesis, but I looked at the card like beforehand and whatnot, and there's only really just the 2 matches. So it's like, all right, whatever works. But I'm always excited and glad to see the Ichiban Sweet Boys do the work at the end of the day. So they'll be on the 4th as well. Despy's been great as IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. I wonder what this death match is going to look like. But where am I feeling between both shows? I'm at a good solid 8 right now. There are going to be things that go down during Sakura Genesis weekend that I think are going to be transformative. Dare I say, SP3, transformative. You're muted. You're muted.
No, I was like, look at this guy using SAT words. Transformative. Transformative. But yes. I like where you're going with that. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm at for Junior Genesis, I'm at like a 7 out of 10. For the main card, Sakura Genesis, I'm with you. I'm with an 8 out of 10. I think that is the show I'm going to be looking forward to. I think it is going to deliver a good night of pro wrestling, but both nights, with especially the final 2 matches on Junior Genesis. But we talk about it all. So we'll start off with the road to Sakura Genesis, Junior Genesis on April 4th, Kurgan Hall. We got I think this is a preliminary matchup or no, it's the first matchup on the main card on Friday. It's going to be Ninja Mac making his return to New Japan Pro Wrestling, teaming up with Kazuya Morishima to verse Yuya Korku and Mao. Mao, I know from DDT. I know Ninja Mac, of course, did a lot of work with Pro Wrestling Noah and across the independent scene, especially with GCW. And we got some young lions from the DDT world and New Japan Pro Wrestling in this one. So who do you got here in this opening matchup, Jados?
Man. Be it that it is a New Japan show, I would take it that the New Japan Young Lion gets to win over the DDT Young Lion in this particular match. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going.
Seems like a safe bet. I'm gonna take Ninja Mac and Morishima to pick up the victory in this one as well. Not really too much storyline involved there, but it should be a fun opener, especially with that Kurgan Hall crowd. Kurgan Hall, the best place.
I feel like if anything, we'll get Ninja Mac and Mao in the Best of Super Juniors this year. Maybe.
I wouldn't mind that. That sounds like a lot of fun, actually. Then we got the latest in the Hiroshi Tanahashi final road. This one is called Kinship. As Hiroshi Tanahashi will go one-on-one Ryosuke Taguchi, 2 members of Hontai for the longest time. This one, he hits a speed bump, they say, but the bump is buns of steel in the funky weapon Taguchi here. These 2 men have teamed up on many occasions. They have faced each other on 5 occasions, with Tanahashi going 5-0. Will this be the big one for Taguchi to finally beat the ace? I'm going to say he goes 6-0. Tanahashi for the win.
Yeah, Tana for the win here, man. I mean, it's just the way New Japan does stuff. Taguchi's still considered a junior at the end of the day, so he's going under, baby. He's going under.
He's like junior. I don't know anymore. But yeah, that should be a fun little preliminary matchup as well. Then we got the preview tags, which you always know these Road 2 shows for. You got the preview for Sakura Genesis for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship matchup. Los Ingobernables de Japón, Yota Tsuji and Shingo Takagi teaming up to face Evil Dick, as Evil will team up with Dick Togo of the House of Torture. Dick Togo's in the matchup. He's looking up at the lights. I'm going with Tsuji and Shingo.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think Shingo, he'll end up hitting Last of the Dragon on Dick Togo for the win.
I don't even think he's gonna get Last of the Dragon. I think he just gets a pumping bomber.
No.
He don't need the finisher. He's Dick Togo. Dick Togo, Goto, they get the signature move. That's all they get. They don't get the real finisher.
All right, pumping bomber. Okay, I see it. I can see it. Yeah.
Then we got another preliminary matchup. This time they're previewing the IWGP World Tag Team Championship matchup, as you got the champions Tetsuya Naito and Hiromu Takahashi teaming with their Los Ingonables de Japón stablemate Bushi to versus the number one contenders United Empire, Jeff Cobb and Callum Newman, and they'll be joined by your boy, the JAY, Jacob Austin Young. What do you think is going to pick up the victory here?
Absolutely. So he's the junior of the juniors. So the JAY is going to pick up the pinfall here. I would suppose that Hiromu and Naito will hit him with their finishing maneuver at the end of the day. Maybe because they like
the double clothesline.
Double clothesline. Why I'm forgetting the Spanish translation right now is beyond me. El tendedero. There you go. There you go. So
El tendedero.
They're gonna hit it with the tendedero and call it a night. Yeah, man. You know, I'm the Jeff Cobb thing. I don't know where I'm at with that right now. He's still with New Japan, so I'm gonna stay there with New Japan. Rumors about and all that jazz or whatever the case is, but I'm gonna keep hope alive for the one and only Jeff Cobb.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see after this run of shows, because we know he's going to be on Sakura Genesis. We know he's going to be on Windy City Riot. After that,
yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? This one is probably the preview tag that I'm looking forward to the most on April 4th, as it's going to be an 8-man tag team matchup. Hontai, represented by IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Hirooki Goto, Yoshihashi teaming back up with his Bishamon tag team partner, as well as Yo and Master Wato to verse the Bullet Club War Dogs, the number one contender, the New Japan Cup winner, David Finlay, the boss dog, and Gabe, the war ready Gabe Kidd, Drilla Maloney, and Gato. Who do you got here in this one?
So, you know, I feel like for all intents and purposes, Gato is here to take the pins. Gato is here to take the pin. That's what I'm betting on. For the most part here, Gato's here to take the pin. This is not this isn't a House of Torture versus Bullet Club thing, so this won't end in a no contest or a DQ. So yeah, Gato's gonna look up at the lights here. I'm just wondering who'll get the win necessarily. But yeah, this is, like you said, it's a good preliminary tag team match. Obviously, we have David Finlay going up against Goto for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship on the 5th. And war ready Gabe Kidd, man. He's war ready. You know, he's my de facto leader at the end of the day. So we'll see how it all breaks down. You know, we'll see how it all breaks down.
This guy over here. I don't think I picked a winner in LIJ and United Empire. I'm actually going to go with United Empire in that one, because Bushi is also one to look up at the lights. And I think they should give the number one contenders a win there. For this one, I do agree with you, though. I will go with Hontai for the win, because, yeah, this is just simple New Japan math. Dick Togo's in the match. He's looking up at the lights. Gato's in the match. He's looking up at the lights. That's the math that I go on. See, the math works different when it's two guys that usually look up at the lights, like Bushi and JAY. So I went with the number one contenders in that one. But Junior Genesis is called that because of the final two matches here, as we got our boy from the Bullet Club War Dogs, Robbie X, who we interviewed earlier this year. He's going to be back in Japan to team back up with Taiji Ishimori, now officially a part of the Bullet Club War Dogs. So that means Robbie X is as well, as they will challenge the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, the Ichiban Sweet Boys, Robbie Eagles, and Kosei Fujita of TMDK. It was Taiji Ishimori who made the challenge to Robbie Eagles and Kosei Fujita. I believe this was back at New Beginning, all the way back in February or so, before the New Japan Cup. And he paid his time. He's officially become part of the Bullet Club War Dogs, got his tag team partner right back next to him for the first time back in Japan since the Super Junior Tag League last year. This should be a really fun one, especially with that Kurgan Hall crowd, which we know the Ichiban Sweet Boys have put on Match of the Year candidates, especially last year in the Super Junior Tag League. I always think about that matchup with the Bullet Club War Dogs, Drilla Maloney and Clark Connors. One of my favorite tag team matches of 2024 was them in the Super Junior Tag League. So can they find that magic once again in Kurgan Hall, or will we see new tag team champions? With these titles, that usually does have a lot of moving around and title changes involved. J News, what do you think comes out with the victory?
I'm gonna ride with the Ichiban Sweet Boys here, man. Those dudes, they're really good, man. Like you said, and Robbie X and Taiji Ishimori are just too new of a team in order to have that much cohesion as of yet. So the Ichiban Sweet Boys here for the win. Robbie Eagles, that is, and Kosei Fujita have looked great as the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, and I think they will continue to do so as the weeks and months continue on. I feel like we're probably going to get another tag team to challenge them right after this match is over. I'm just wondering as to who it will be necessarily. So that I think it might be more, not necessarily a surprise, but somebody unexpected in the sense of we've seen them, but we've seen them before, but they haven't been around in a while type deal.
Who?
I don't know. I'm just that's that's kind of like the nebulous part about it.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah.
I'm gonna also agree with you. I think the Ichiban Sweet Boys should retain, and they do retain in this one. I think it's gonna be a hard fought matchup. And as far as the next challengers, I'm gonna go with a new tag team since they're on this card. I'll go with Yo and Master Wato.
That's a good plug. I was gonna go with maybe a rematch with the Jet Setters to try to play off of Kev's new AEW contract and him being in the limelight.
I think that means he's going to be in AEW. I don't think that means he's going back to Japan.
He got dates, man. He got dates. You know what I'm saying? He got dates.
I'm happy for our boy Kevin Knight, man. I'm happy. He made a big decision. He chose to reject the WWE tryout because I think he saw. We were kind of talking about this before we started recording, where there's certain people with contract years, and I said to you, I was like, yeah, some people, I think it's just bad business to go to WWE because TKO is offering you kind of like lowball contracts, or you got to do some time in NXT. And I think that's what it came down to with Kevin Knight. I think that TK, Tony Khan, offered him more money. He made the right decision for him right now in his career. He's 28 years old. He's going to get the exposure being on AEW, and he still has time when he's in his early 30s, mid 30s to go to WWE if he wants to go over there and have a good run, because WWE don't wind up pushing you until you're in your mid 30s anyway.
Yeah, and also a great match for him to have with Jay White last night on Collision.
Yeah.
And good showing for Kevin. I think there's a lot of great potential for him in AEW. So shouts to Kevin Knight and whatnot, man. One half of the Intergalactic Jet Setters. They do have a match coming up at freaking Windy City Riot, as a matter of fact.
That is true. That is true.
So that's why I put it out there. So
Kushida will be over. Kushida will come and make the challenge like Ishimori did, but without Robbie X being there. It'll be Kushida coming out. Then we got the main event of Junior Genesis from Kurgan Hall on April 4th. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship up for grabs in a hardcore match. El Desperado defending the title against Clark Connors. El Desperado, of course, won the championship at Wrestle Kingdom from Doki. He successfully defended the title against Francisco Akira back at the anniversary show, and it was Clark Connors who sent a video message making the challenge to Despy. The last time these two men went at it was in the Best of Super Juniors tournament, I believe 2 years ago in 2023, where they had an absolute war that went all over the building. It ended in a disqualification for Clark Connors. Desperado comes into this matchup with an advantage in their head-to-head showdowns of 2-0, but like I said, he's only got one pinfall victory over Clark Connors, but now the rules are out, so Clark Connors may have an advantage here, or it's Desperado in a hardcore matchup, and we know him. He is a master of death matches. If you weren't aware of that, just look at his goddamn back from that Jun Kasai three-way death match that he had a couple about the earlier this month, earlier in March. So we'll see what happens in this one, but who do you think comes out the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship from this main event, which should be a hot, intense one, especially with the Kurgan Hall crowd? J News?
It should be a hot and intense one. I appreciate the vignettes that Clark Connors has come out with, plural, yes. Not just a challenge, but he dropped one yesterday, last night, midday, sometime during the day, staking his claim and doing his thing and letting Despy know that, you know, he's not the only hardcore one in all of New Japan and things of that nature. So I'm gonna go with my war dog here, man. 100 proof for the surprise win. New IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Clark Connors. You know, we got to strike while the iron is hot and make sure that the boy stays with New Japan Pro Wrestling and not sign with the company. So.
Good point there. Damn, that's a good shout. I wanted to be different, and I was gonna say Desperado, but you make a good point. This is what you do to kind of solidify. He's probably signed a new deal. You have him win the championship, and it works out with Clark Connors winning, where the War Dogs have won championship gold, and you could let it be seen like they got all the momentum heading into the next night in Sakura Genesis, where they have two big title matches on that show. So you know what? You led the way, and I'm just gonna follow you in. I'm going with Clark Connors, new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, because I think that Clark is ready for that position as well.
I think he is too, and he plays well to the New Japan crowd and things of that nature, and also for all intents and purposes, because I feel like Doki was still supposed to be champion at this point, they could really do whatever they want to do with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship right now, going into Best of Super Juniors. So, you know, putting it on a new champion, and then having Clark like develop these different feuds over the next couple of the next month or so, whatever the case is, will probably bode well or better for the division, because to be quite honest, we've seen it all with Desperado at this point. So, you know, giving it a little bit of new life, and then allowing the other junior talents in the division to do something new and different. You know, I think it would only be better for the division at the end of the day.
You're actually right. So I do agree with you there. So that's all for the Junior Genesis on April 4th. Let's get into April 5th, the main card, Sakura Genesis 2025. We have a preliminary matchup, a kickoff matchup, a pre-show matchup, as you're going to see the Young Lions clashing here. Kazuya Morishima going one-on-one with Dake Nagai. That's your boy right here. So who do you think picks up the victory? Morishima is 2-0 against Nagai right now. So who do you think wins this one?
They've been pushing Morishima this entire month, man. So I'm gonna go with the momentum on Morishima, man. Morishima goes 3-0 against Nagai. There's something, not necessarily that they're holding Nagai back on, but it's like he's just not completely there yet. I feel like they trust Morishima more than they do Nagai. So I'm gonna go with Morishima here with the momentum that he's had throughout the month of March in all the other events.
Morishima gives me shades of both Yota Tsuji and Uemura when they were young lions. There's kind of like that. You could see the signs are there, the potential is there. He just has to grow into what he can potentially become. But I think because of his thickness, his size, that's why I see the Yota Tsuji comparison. But the fire that he sometimes show, I see more of Uemura when he was a young lion.
He's definitely got to step into his own style per se, because it's like you said, like he's a big boy, right? He's a meaty boy, but there's no real essence of him as of yet, or whatever the case is. When Tsuji was a young lion, Tsuji had a good presence about him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Murachima's not there yet, but like I said before, due to his win streak and where he's been the last month, it's like, man, Murashima right now, he's on fire, man. I don't know if the guy got that in him right now, you know.
We shall see there. And then you got on the main card, we got a grudge match to start things off. Speaking of Yuya Uemura, he'll be in action. The Heat Storm going one-on-one with the quote unquote Bullet Club War Dogs member, quote unquote. I don't know for sure, but he is Sanada. These two men, of course, met in the first round of the New Japan Cup tournament, with Uemura picking up the victory there. But after Uemura dropped his quarterfinal matchup against David Finlay, it was Sanada who came in, laid him out with the deadfall DDT, showing that he still has no respect for his former Just for Guys teammate, stablemate. Now that Uemura is with Hontai, the lines have been drawn between these two, so this is really a grudge match on this card. Who do you think picks up the victory here?
This it has to work in Uemura's favor, right? I mean, look, man. We all know I've been working with Sanada in the gym forever, man. You know, but this iteration of Sanada, whatever this is, it's not working for me, man. It's not working for me. So I'm gonna go with the Heat Storm here. We should get a solid and decent match out of this, and hopefully the New Japan faithful stays behind Uemura and catapults him into a new stratosphere. This young generation really needs it right now. So, you know, I'm gonna go with Uemura for the win here over Sanada, but I'm not gonna say I'm with you, SP3. I don't know where Sanada lies right now. I don't think he's a war dog. He's not a Bullet Club member. He's not a member of House of Torture. Sanada's his own man right now. You know, he's standing out here on an island by himself where he likes to be.
I feel like he's definitely in Bullet Club. We just don't know where he aligns with in the whole war that's going on within the Bullet Club right now. He's Bullet Club. He's with the Bad Luck Fales of the world, the Chase Owens, even though Chase is wearing War Dog shirts, but he's more with like the Bad Luck Fales of the world, where they're definitely Bullet Club. We don't know if they're War Dogs or House of Torture, or are they just Bullet Club?
We'll see, man. We'll see. But yeah, I got Uemura for the win here.
And teaser, I don't think this is the last time we see Uemura on this card. Then you got for the NJPW World Television Championship, El Phantasmo defends the championship against the Great Okan. Okan defeated El Phantasmo in the first round of the New Japan Cup tournament. It was El Phantasmo who had an open challenge for the TV title on the New Japan Cup final show that was accepted by United Empire member TJP with Great Okan in his corner. It was El Phantasmo who successfully defended the title against TJP, but post-match, Okan came in, laid him out, power drived him, dropped him on his head, and made the challenge for the TV championship. Great Okan is 2-0 against El Phantasmo heading into this clash here. I think the winning streak ends here, as I think ELP successfully defends the title against Great Okan, but I'm just hoping it's much better than the New Japan Cup matchup. J News?
Yeah, I'm going with ELP, man, to retain here. My to your point, my only hope is that this match is a better match. Okan, give me a good match, brother. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Just give me a good match, man. Give me a good match. Because if you have a bad matches out here with ELP, there's a problem, man. There's a problem. There's a problem.
Yeah, he's got to get it together. We very much were well documented. We talked about it on our New Japan Cup final review, where he's been on a downslide since he really did not have a strong showing against Sensuya Naito for the IWGP Championship last year at Destruction, and it's not been the best performances since then. We all love Great Okan and know that he could be a great character, but always in the ring has been up and down. After I thought that he had probably his best showing in the G1 climax last year, but it's been kind of downhill since then.
Yeah, all I'm asking for is a good match, man. I don't want him to be champion of anything right now because he don't deserve it. So that's where I'm at.
That is fair. That is fair. Next one, we have a very interesting special singles match, as it's once again Hiroshi Tanahashi's final road. This one is called Connection, as Hiroshi Tanahashi will go one-on-one with the man that's been inspired by the ace, Shota Umino. This is coming off the heels of Shota Umino's haircut at New Beginning in Osaka, and then his journey throughout the New Japan Cup tournament, where he was able to make it to the finals, coming up short against David Finlay. After the matchup, he didn't know what direction he was going to go in, and it was Hiroshi Tanahashi who made the challenge to him for Sakura Genesis. Shota accepted the challenge, but then walked away from Tanahashi when he looked for a handshake. And I've been seeing a lot of the clips and quotes from Shota Umino, who's been kind of talking some trash towards Hiroshi Tanahashi, saying that Tanahashi gave the reins to Hontai to Hirooki Goto, where he kind of felt that that was his spot to take, and he's kind of been looked over by the ace as he's preparing for his retirement. This could be a very interesting matchup if New Japan decides to go the more compelling, intriguing route. I'm going to go with Shota Umino to pick up the victory here, but I think it might be by nefarious means. Please, New Japan, no, I'm going to put it in the air. I'm just going to lay it out. Please, New Japan, let this be the Shota Umino heel turn. Embrace what the crowd's been giving you for the last 6 months, please.
So what you're saying is that you want him to embrace the hate?
Embrace the hate. The man who came up with that rise above the hate nonsense, he's embraced the hate. So it's time for Shota to do that.
So I don't disagree with where you're coming from, right? I'm also picking Shota Umino to win this match by nefarious means. I am also hoping for Shota Umino to do the heel turn. It's whether or not, no, not whether or not. All right, sorry, don't know what happened there.
Oh yeah, you paused for a second. I was like, uh oh. I was like, is it me? Is it me? I always have to check. Like, is it me? Is it me? Nah, go ahead.
All right, so I don't know where the heel turn's gonna go. I put certain things out in the universe when we last spoke. I'm not gonna put that out in the universe again. All I'm saying is,
please don't.
I spoke about things being transformative here at Sakura Genesis. I feel like this Shota Umino win over Tanahashi and him going heel is going to be the transformative event that I believe it to be. This will be the transformative event of this particular show. I just wonder how it's going to go. That's really where I'm at. And it's going to be a telltale sign. If Shooter Umino walks to that ring and he's wearing black, we know something's up.
Please let it happen. Please change up the look completely. Stop wearing the bell bottoms. Throw that shit away. Let's get some black tights out here. But we'll see what happens there. But it should be very, very interesting depending on what's the result and the post match in that one. This one, we got our first title match on the card, J News, for the Never Openweight 6-man tag team championships. The House of Torture, Ren Narita, Yujiro Takahashi, and Show of House of Torture will defend against the Bullet Club War Dogs, Gabe Kidd, Drilla Maloney, and Taiji Ishimori. Ishimori has the opportunity to come out of Sakura Genesis weekend as a double champion as he teams up with the Bullet Club War Dogs here. This all stems from the Bullet Club Civil War 2.0, 3.0. I don't know how many times they've done this shit. I think it's 3.0 at this point, but this stems from a new beginning in Osaka where Evil came out, attacked Gabe Kidd, announced that he was basically kicking the War Dogs out of the Bullet Club, and then it led to various amounts of war between the War Dogs and House of Torture throughout the New Japan Cup tournament and tour. Gabe Kidd defeating Ren Narita in the first round, and then Narita costing Gabe Kidd his second round matchup against Taichi, costing him the New Japan Cup tournament. These guys have gone to war. A non-title matchup at the New Japan Cup final show saw Gabe Kidd, Drilla Maloney, and Taiji Ishimori pick up a win over the House of Torture, and now we have the title match here thanks to their victory on that show. You know me, I'm never, ever gonna pick the House of Torture in a big time title match, especially on a big show. When we do one of these previews, give me the War Dogs as the Never Openweight 6-man tag team champions. Give me Gabe Kidd as a double champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Plus, I'll be honest with you, it wasn't until they made their challenge that I knew that the House of Torture were the Never Openweight 6-man tag team champion. I would have sworn Hiroshi Tanahashi, Bolton Oleg, and Toriano was still the champions. It was they literally don't walk around with the titles. They don't promote the titles. So just put it on a new team, please.
Yeah, the House of Torture stuff always, at least for our sensibilities, and I'll speak for myself specifically, like it creates detachment for me. Like I'm not interested at the end of the day. So it's like, put the belts on the War Dogs because they're war ready, and it's just it'll just be better. It'll be a better spotlight on the Never Openweight 6-man tag team championships. And if we start to topple the House of Torture on Sakura Genesis, the better off we are, man. The better off we will be.
Indeed. It just needs to get off of the House of Torture. Please and thank you. That would be very helpful. But I do like the House of Torture versus War Dogs rivalry. I think this is the most interesting rivalry the House of Torture has been in maybe ever. Like, it's gotten the crowd behind them. It's gotten the crowd behind the War Dogs. The War Dogs being presented as baby faces for the first time. It's been very interesting.
Yeah. I would say that this is probably the most interesting they've been in a while.
And then we have the match, probably outside of the main event, I'm looking forward to the most on this card, J News. For the Never Openweight Championship, Konosuke Takeshita of the Don Callis family returns to New Japan Pro Wrestling to defend the Never Openweight Championship against TMDK's own Ryohei Oiwa. These two men, basically the challenge was set by Oiwa against Takeshita following Takeshi's last title defense of the Never Openweight Championship in a New Japan Pro Wrestling ring back at New Beginning in Osaka when he defeated Bolton Oleg. Oiwa came out and issued the challenge to Takeshita, and now we're going to see this matchup here. I think that this has all the makings to be Oiwa's best match since coming back to New Japan Pro Wrestling. And Konosuke Takeshita, Jimmy Macaram says it all the time on AE Ramble. He says that he's the best in-ring wrestler in the world today. I think Takeshita is top 5, dead or alive, top 5 best wrestler in the world when it comes to bell to bell. He's one of the best. He just had an absolute banger against Mark Briscoe on AEW Dynamite. He's had a great match with Angel Del Oro in CMLL for the Never Openweight Championship in February. So let's see what he could do here with Oiwa. Who you got? Takeshita Oiwa.
I've got Takeshita on this one because I have a feeling I knew where you were going when you said that Uemura is going to come up on the show again. Because if Take does what Take does and they just ball out, but he wins, he needs a new challenger at the end of the day. And if Uemura gets the win that I think he'll get over Sonata, why not face the best bell-to-bell wrestler on the planet right now? You know what I'm saying? Top five. Yeah, man, this should be a hell of a bout. And it's a good projection for the continued present and immediate future of New Japan Pro Wrestling. This should be a good showcase for Oiwa, regardless of the fact if he wins or loses. Obviously, I think he'll lose, but this should be a good showcase for Oiwa. Keeps him in a strong position, and it keeps Takeshita as the Never Openweight champion. And if we do see Uemura come back out here for the challenge, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it.
See, you saw what I was putting down. Yes, I think post match here, I also got Takeshita picking up the victory here. I think the Takeshita Never Openweight title run is in a good place. But yeah, the next person to come out, make the challenge, I think should be Yuya Uemura. Play off of the Uemura victory over Takeshita in the G1 Climax last year, which was probably one of the more underrated matches of the entire tournament. I think it would be higher up on a lot of people's best matches of the tournament if it wasn't for a lot of the later matches like your Zach and Gabe Kidd or your Takeshita and ELP. I think more people would be talking about Uemura and Takeshita, and I think they can recapture that same magic if they face for the Never Openweight Championship. So Takeshita to win, and then Uemura for the next challenger, maybe at maybe Wrestling Dontaku or one of the US shows. Either or, I could see that happening.
Yeah, same.
And then we got for the IWGP World Tag Team Championships, it's going to be Los Ingobernables de Japón, Ten Dinero, Tetsuya Naito and Hiromu Takahashi defending against the United Empires, Jeff Cobb and Callum Newman. It was Cobb and Newman who issued the challenge to the champions following Jeff Cobb picking up a victory over Tetsuya Naito in the New Japan Cup tournament, eliminating the former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Of course, Callum Newman has his history with Tetsuya Naito coming up short against him in singles competition, but can Callum Newman get the victory over Naito in tag team competition? We're going to find out here at Sakura Genesis. J News, who you got for the tag team titles?
Man, I wish I could be happy about this match, man. It's got a couple of my guys in this, man. They got Callum in this match, Jeff Cobb in this match. You know what I'm saying? Romu's in this match. You know, I wish I could be happier about this match, man. I wish I could come out and say, hey, man, the United Empire is going to come out and win. That's not reality, man, though. That's not the real. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get LIJ to retain here. The hope is that we get a good to decent match out of everybody involved. But LIJ will retain here. And yeah, that's all I got, man. That's all I got.
So we shall see what happens in regards to Jeff Cobb, which I know that's where a lot of the hard feelings are coming from here. But I agree with you. LIJ is going to successfully defend these tag team titles. I would love to be wrong, and I would love to go with Jeff Cobb just to say, fuck you, all the reports, but it's not the world we live in.
And Callum needs to start climbing up that ladder in New Japan, man. So it's like it would be useful for them to get the win, but you know, we're not in the land of useful sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
It is what it is. Then we got for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, Yota Tsuji will defend against Evil. It was in the New Japan Cup Tournament 2024 that Yota Tsuji first met Evil in one-on-one competition, eliminating the House of Torture leader from the tournament before going on to win the cup last year. But then these two men met in the first round of this year's tournament, following Evil coming out to beat down both Yota Tsuji and Gabe Kidd after their Instinct Classic at New Beginning in Osaka. He gave him the Everything is Evil, laying him out to set up their first round matchup in the New Japan Cup Tournament. Thanks to interference and some powder from Dick Togo, it was Evil who pinned the IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion, but that did not lead to a victory in the tournament overall for Evil, but he did put him in line for a shot at the Global Heavyweight Championship. He's beaten him down on many occasions, using the powder, using the title to blast Tsuji in the face. Can Tsuji get some revenge on Evil and retain the gold, or will Evil bring some power back to the House of Torture as he tries to stake his claim as the new owner of New Japan Pro Wrestling? Dear God, I will say it once, I will say it again. I will not go with the House of Torture for a major title match on a big-time New Japan show. Tsuji for the win.
Word. To use the sponsor of this event, I hope Yota Tsuji finds it within himself to hit Evil with some Fatal Fury City of the Wolves combos, light that motherfucker's ass up, and call it quits, and just win this match. And maybe we got a good version of Evil in this match, maybe. But Big Suge for the win. I can't pick House of Torture. I can't have Evil as a champion again, man. That was just distressing at the end of the day the last time that happened. So Big Suge for the win. Yeah, that's what it's about.
I would hope so. I would hope so. Please, dear God, we need Tsuji to hold this title for a little while. Have a reign worthy of the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, because the former champion, he did you well with this title. Speaking of which, the former champion is now the winner of the New Japan Cup Tournament. He is the Savage Savior. He is the Savage King. He is a rebel. Bullet Club needed a rebel. New Japan needed a rebel. The world needed a rebel. And that rebel is David Finlay, the boss dog. And he will challenge IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Hirooki Goto in the main event of Sakura Genesis on April 5th. These two men have plenty of history with one another. They were at one time a part of Hontai, a part of the babyface side of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Hontai Chaos combination at one point. But of course, David Finlay crossed over to the Bullet Club War Dogs at the beginning of 2023. Since then, they have only met on 2 occasions. Last year, in the G1 Climax tournament in Kurgan Hall, it was Goto who picked up the victory, an emotional win over David Finlay in the main event of the G1 Climax night in front of his kids. Kurgan Hall rooting him on in another underrated matchup of last year's tournament. And then he got an opportunity at the Boss Dog for the Global Heavyweight Championship at Power Struggle, where he came up short in front of his kids. David Finlay making Goto's kids cry. So now, can Goto get revenge for that victory? Can he make his kids put a smile on their face as they see him defeat the villain? Or will the villain prove that Goto is lesser than, that Goto is really a failure by taking the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship? J News, we know your feelings on the New Japan Cup winner. So, who do you think wins on April 5th?
I believe that this is going to be one hell of a match. With the way that David Finlay has been going as of late, the matches that he's been putting together, definitely raising his stock in recent months trying to take the brass ring, as they say, right, and do these incredible things and join the greats and the likes of there to be a future IWGP heavyweight champion. Can't take anything away from what David Finlay's been doing in the ring. But the revolution will continue. Goto-san will make us weep in the most positive way. He will etch out the win and continue the Goto revolution as he puts down your boss dog in this match in what I feel will be a hellacious competition between these two competitors. But Goto-san will come out the champion. He will go into Windy City Riot as champion, and he will continue the Goto revolution with all of the New Japan faithful behind him.
I think Hirooki Goto has done a splendid job as the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. He has proven all the naysayers wrong. He was 0-8 in IWGP heavyweight title matches going into the new beginning in Osaka, and proved everyone wrong in an instant classic against Zack Sabre Jr. in Osaka. No one will ever forget that. He's gone on to put on great matches with No Knees. Tanahashi ran back the clock at the anniversary show with Tanahashi March 15th in the quarterfinals of the New Japan Cup tournament. He turned back the clock with Yuji Nagata and had a great matchup with him as well. And all of his main event matches have drawn ridiculously well. This crowd is behind him like no other.
Right.
It's amazing to watch. It's amazing to see. He is the hot hand right now for New Japan Pro Wrestling. So he can do no wrong. In my eyes, he can do no wrong in a lot of fans' eyes. But he ain't no boss dog. He ain't no boss dog. He ain't no New Japan Cup winner of 2025. He ain't the rebel. He ain't the savage savior. He ain't the savage king. He ain't the man that is every revolution needs a rebel to rebel against it. We're going from a revolution to a rebellion. David Finlay will become your new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. It's going to be a great day, April.
We will agree to disagree, which is fine. In context, at the end of the day, all I have to say is that there's many different ways things can happen. Things can turn about during a show. I feel like, to your point, which if people haven't been watching New Japan as of late, you really, really should, and understand what it has meant to New Japan fans for Goto to be champion. Like even his match against Koji, I was like, what? I was like, this shit is crazy. Like this fan base is amazing right now. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen them this hype in a long period of time, behind the champion and stuff like that. So continuing with the hot hand, you can't go wrong with it. I understand the point of view with the boss dog and all that jazz. And the goings-ons, right? But the boss dog's another one, man. He's another one. He ain't booked past Windy City Riot, man. He another one, SP3. All right.
Oh, now he going back to this gimmick. Now he going back to this gimmick.
I'm saying, man. I'm not out here projecting. It's true. So we shall see how it all goes down.
This is why you need to solidify him as the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Make sure he signs on the dotted line. Say, hey, here you go. World title run. The one that you always need. And plus, it sets up for your Tsuji or your Gabe Kid to win the G1 Climax and dethrone David Finlay at next year's Wrestle Kingdom. I'm all for the long term. I'm all thinking long term, people. This is what we need to do. But Either way, I think I do agree with you. I think it's going to be an absolutely fantastic matchup. I think the Ryogoku crowd is going to be definitely rooting for Goto against David Finlay, and they've produced some great matches already with their first 2 matches last year. So I expect this one to be just as great, and it's going to be a hot crowd involved as well. So I'm looking forward to Sakura Genesis like all of you, and I said it on social media. I will say it here. New Japan Pro Wrestling has been the best major promotion of 2025 so far. They have created so many indelible moments that I'm gonna remember for a very, very long time, whether it be the Boss Dogs entrance at Wrestle Kingdom and putting on an instant classic with Yota Tsuji, whether it be Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd giving us the match of the year so far at Wrestle Dynasty. The entire New Beginning in Osaka was the best show of the year so far for me. The New Japan Cup had plenty of great moments. Zack Sabre Jr. and Tai Chi, the Dangerous Techers going at it. The moment with David Finlay winning the entire tournament. The Bullet Club War Dogs and House of Torture getting really hot as a rivalry as well. So they have produced the best out of all the promotion, even more than AEW, who's on the rise as of late with their weekly product getting better and better each and every week, as well as with Collision rebounding as well, and the great pay-per-view that was Revolution. WWE is hotter than it's ever been, and all that jazz. So yeah, both of those companies are doing great work. I think the most consistent though has been New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Can't disagree, man. Can't disagree. So we shall see how it all boils down via Sakura Genesis. And then we're going to walk into Dontaku, right? I think that's the show between Windy City Riot, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Windy City Riot is going to be the week after. So I'm planning on, I don't know about you, I'm asking you live on, I was record this. Are you free next Sunday? We might have to do it next Sunday, the review for Sakura Genesis, if you're free.
Probably same bat time, same bat channel.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll work it out. We'll see what Sanal's schedule is looking like as well. See if we can all get together and corroborate that one. But
Sunday's a busy day. That's Dynasty Day. It's also my busiest work day of the week for whatever reason. So yeah,
there you go.
If you could do it at the same time, I'm there, brother.
We'll see. I'll ask Sanal what's her schedule looking like. But then join us for that. We'll do the review probably Sunday. We'll see when we can get that out. Of course, we'll be covering Sakura Genesis on the True Hill Heat flagship podcast that is also on Saturday, April 5th as well. We'll have AEW Dynasty coverage this week as well. So be on the lookout for that. But J News, let everybody know where they can follow you on social media when they might see you again.
Yeah, man. You guys will see me next week as we do we're going to probably do previews and reviews for Windy City Riot, and then we'll also do the preview and review for Wrestling Dontaku when it comes down a couple of weeks later after that. So yeah, catch me here on True Hill Heat. You can also catch me on the Hit the Ropes podcast every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Me and the lovely Dolores do that weekly podcast reviewing the week that was in pro wrestling. We cover a wide breadth of all the majors and some of the indies, along with stuff that we share for New Japan and Stardom and Marigold and things of that nature. So keep a lookout for that. You can catch me on the socials, on the Twitter machine at JohnLYFNMG, your friendly neighborhood moviegoer. That is me. So check me out on the Twitter machine and the Instagram space as well. So yeah, that's where you can catch me.
And you can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. At True Hill SP3. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The best place to support us when we are not live here. Go over to True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment, where we did our Daredevil Born Again Season 1, Episodes 5 and 6 review. Go over and subscribe if you haven't already, as we're slowly approaching 1,000 subscribers over there. And like I said before, you got plenty of content to enjoy here here. You got AE Ramble on Thursday, reviewing AEW Dynamite. We had Rated Raw review on Tuesday. You got our AEW Dynasty preview coming up on Friday. True Hill Heat Flagship Podcast, AEW Dynasty review on next Monday as well. So you got a lot to enjoy here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. But for J News, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our Sakura Genesis 2025 preview. We are signing off until next time.